What distinguishes veganism from most other merely plant-based diets is its concern for animal welfare, something which is extending beyond the vegan community now. And while beef isn't intensively reared in this country,
Philip Boucher-Hayes said that intensive beef farming does not take place in Ireland. This statement is simply false. Teagasc, the state agency that advises farmers, promotes 14 different types of beef raising systems. All of these systems involve feeding cattle concentrates feedstuff for the last few months or longer of the animal's life. This feedstuff is made up with cheap waste byproducts from the brewing, oil, milling and fruit industry. These waste products are usually added to cheap genetically modified grain imports, so we end up eating cattle that are fed genetically modified food. All of the systems involve keeping cattle in slatted sheds for many months and in some cases most of the animal's life. It all on the Teagasc website. Read the small print. You can pause this video to learn more information at any time. In the 2015 beef system guidelines there is a difference of 7-to-1 between the most intensive beef raising method and the least intensive method. What this means is that with low-intensive farming practices you can get 0.9 animals per hectare in a year, and on the higher-intensive farms feedlots you can exceed 6.3 cattle per hectare in a year. All the big meat producers own and control feedlots, and there are several giant farmer-owned feedlots operating in Ireland. A new trend is to have robots feeding the cattle. These robots can give food mixed with several ingredients to different animals. The Department of Agriculture is trying to stop the overuse of antibiotics on farms and feedlots, and in one recent court case a leading farmer who has won awards from and board by IFAB in the Best Beef Farmer in Ireland was found to have 6 times the amount of prescribed medicine on his farm, and despite the chemist that supplied him pleading guilty to 33 charges of supplying the medicine, and despite the department inspector saying what was going on the farm was very sad, the chemist got off on the charges because the definition of dispensing is not clearly defined in law. I don't know why the farmer was not charged with an offense, or why animals were let into the food chain if it was suspected that they were illegally given medicines. The same farmer and many other intensive farmers are getting paid to remove human sewage sludge on an industrial scale from sewage treatment plants, and they then spread this waste product that by its very nature is contaminated with many chemicals. It is not practical to remove the contaminants from the sludge. To make matters worse, big business now markets this human and industrial sludge as an organic fertilizer. It is RT's job to shine a light where there is information concealed in poorly lit areas. Saying beef is not intensively raised in Ireland has just dimmed the lights further and kept the public in the dark. I find it somewhat ironic that one of the most prominent farmers in the country who has won awards for his beef farming methods has had his farming practice described in court as very sad, and the state solicitor described the oversupply of antibiotics to a beef farmer as white-collar crime. And then we have RT, an award-winning journalist and head of RT's investigative unit, failing to understand that beef is being raised intensively in Ireland and failing to investigate and highlight what exactly we are eating, and misleading the public by giving the beef industry a clean bill of health, ignoring the abuses and legal but questionable practices within the industry. Let's not forget the department's own figures suggest that about 4,000 cattle per year enter the food chain with illegal growth promoters present in the meat. This utterly wrong information is a breach of the 2009 Broadcasting Act. Audiences are entitled to, and do, trust that the news and current affairs content they access from the broadcast media is accurate.